capturing social media, things everyone sees, visual. Um, I don't think you're blocking people. You might have blocked people, but it's more like, it's more like this feeling of, I just don't want to be involved in this anymore. I just don't want this anymore. You might have stopped all social media, or you might not have gone that far, but there's definitely a cutback on things like that. And yeah, it feels like there's a lot of baggage around social media for you. There might be axes lurking around too as well, around social media, and yeah, people around them as well, people who knew both of you, their family, maybe. So it just feels like a whole world of people and comments and pictures, and it just feels really stale, really, really stale to you. That's the word I'm getting, stale. Especially as we're at the start of a new year, a new decade, and you wanted to put that all behind you. And I'm getting a big noise outside. The second I start, I'm going to try and ignore that because I don't want to. I don't want to edit. I don't want to do anything. I just want to go right from the beginning to the end. So yeah, so it felt really, really stale. Looking all that again, all the same old people, and I'm just getting this. I'm not going back. It drags me down, wastes my time. It's like you just wanted to live your life outside of all of that, and that makes sense. If this is you, you're not alone. A lot of people are tired of being caught in that trap of, scrolling through other people's lives, or, the lives they want to show you anyway. And again, I'm getting this word, stale, stale. You wanted freshness, you wanted to be new or feel new, because it's a new year, it's a new decade. And I think a part of that, it's getting rid of an old energy. And yeah, I'm seeing an X again. I was seeing that before, and I'm seeing that again. So, and I think it's about you putting a barrier up between you and all that old energy. The X, everyone around them, other people as well, not just them, not just people who are related to them, and just things you didn't want to see anymore. You didn't want to see or hear any of that anymore. Because if you look at this card, the coins are forming a barrier between us and the people on the other side. And there's a couple on the other side, and they're not communicating properly. They look like they're talking and they're about to walk off in different directions. And I think that couple represents a past relationship for you, and there are a lot of people around them as well. So there are people around the two of you at the time, and I think that's what that represents. And the coins are a barrier between you and all that. So you're forming this barrier between you and that world, really, the world of your past, if that makes sense. So yeah, a lot of people are doing that. I'm seeing that a lot. Um, okay, so the next card you have, you pass the King of Pentacles. Yeah, look at all these coins here. Pentacles everywhere, and you've got the King. So, yeah, it looks like you're working your way out of this as well, working really hard. You might have been working in several different areas, maybe different jobs, and you're doing that to create this buffer, this boundary between you and these people who are in your past, all that kind of thing. It's like, no, I'll work my way out of this. I'm going to get stable, I'm going to be financially better off, and I'm going to work my way away. You might have even worked your way to a different area to be able to afford to live in a completely different area. There is a feeling of dependence here, though, and wanting to break free of that dependence as well. So, it might be that, at one time you found yourself dependent on someone or some people. Yeah, I'm seeing family. I'm seeing family here. There's a family in the Ten of Pentacles as well. And I'm seeing a bit of a financial crash as well. And it might have something to do with this ex or leaving this ex. That might be why you had this crash. Because I'm seeing getting away from an ex, having to build yourself up again from nowhere. And maybe you had to accept help from family. Maybe you had to even live with family for a while. But I think, you've got yourself back on your feet, and you should congratulate yourself for that if this is you, because when you're going through a lot of emotional turmoil, it can be really hard to focus on anything, especially if you suddenly have to rely on your family, because it can feel like, you've gone backwards into your childhood sometimes, especially if you're back in your old bedroom or whatever. So if this is you, you had so many different emotions going on around you, so much stress, so much pressure, and now you're out. You're out of this. You're moving forwards. You're really building yourself up financially again, and I think that's why you're putting all that behind you. Because I think scrolling through all the Instagram and everything else puts you back. It puts you back in the past mentally, and you know that's not good for you. So it's like anything that's not good for me, I want to move forward. I'm just going to put it in the past. I used to scroll and kind of look and see what my ex was doing, and now I'm just like, no, I don't need that anymore. So that's what I'm seeing again now. So the last card you have for your past is the Three of Pentacles. More Pentacles. So, yeah, look at this. This is really, really good. And I'm seeing a similar thing in the Aries reading, actually, and this card was there as well. I don't know if you're thinking about partnering up with an Aries, maybe a business partnership. I know that's specific, but if you are, I'm seeing a lot of positivity coming out of that, and I'm seeing that in that reading as well. But yeah, I won't talk about that. But yeah, um, yeah, your hard work, it's gotten you out of a really bad situation. I'm seeing that again here. It's gotten you back on your feet. All these cards are amazing for work and money and everything, all these pentacles. There's definitely something you're doing now. And I'm seeing you doing a few different things actually. But one of these things, it's going to take a totally new direction, I think. And yeah, it's going to take off for you, I think. But um, it's not going to be in the same form as it is now, if that makes sense. So what I mean by that is, it might be, I'll give you an example, it might be something you're working on, a particular type of business or a service or a product or something, and, maybe someone asks for something completely different. And then, maybe you say yes, just as a one-off, and whatever that thing is that you do, maybe that becomes really popular and you end up basing everything around that new popular thing and it really takes off. That's the kind of scenario I'm seeing there. So the advice here is to be flexible. If someone asks for something different or if someone suggests something, be flexible. Change if you need to, because the change is where the big growth is. That's the message in that card. And yeah, I just want to show this to you as well. If you look at the Three of Pentacles, and I saw exactly the same thing in the Aries reading, so I'll say that to you as well. So I don't know, again, you might be partnering up with an Aries in work. You might not be, but yeah, if you look at this Three of Pentacles at the top of this card, they're forming an arrow and it's pointing upwards, and the background of this whole scene's completely dark. So the arrow of the coins, the work, it's brought you out of the darkness. It's brought you out of a dark time, and the ability that you have to get yourself back on your feet. But the message here, once again, is you need to be flexible to be able to do that. So yeah, I know that's all about work and money, but they're all pentacles. So what can I say? That's what that's about. So okay, so the first card you have, your presence, strength. Yeah, this is you. This is you. So yeah, you're really, really strong. That's what this is showing me. You've come out of a lot of problems. You've come out of this darkness that I was seeing in the Three of Pentacles. And I think the key to your success and the key to your future success is that flexibility that I'm seeing there. And also your ability to turn things around. You've really turned everything around and you're going to continue to turn things around. Now, I'm seeing a couple of things here. The first thing is, yeah, it's a bit of a difficult thing. It's not that great. I'll try and articulate this. It's a little bit... Okay. I'm getting a really strong feeling that someone thinks you're aligned with a group or with someone they don't like or something like that. It's like, oh, I hate that person and now they're their friend and I don't like them. Very, very childish. Very childish. It's like the playground, really. It's like going back to school, really. And I think this person's talking about you, and they're talking about this person you're supposed to be aligned with. So if this is you, you're not aligned with anyone. You're friends with someone, I think. You can be friends with anyone you like. It's no one else's business. Yeah, it's really, really childish. And the strength card can be about taming your temper, not reacting to these kinds of things, being the bigger person. Because if you look at the lion and the woman on this card, they're bigger than the landscape around them. And I think you're doing that. I think you're doing that. I think you're rising above all this. Just be a little bit careful. There's a little bit of a warning here in this card. Obviously they're talking about you. They're probably making things up. They're probably making up lies and all kinds of stories and things like that. But it is going to get better, but I think before it gets better, it might actually get a bit worse. They might up things, they might ramp things up, say more things. And I'm seeing protection here, because look at the way this woman's protecting this lion. So, if you're in a relationship, it might be that. Just watch out, they might start saying things about your partner. And if that happens, that's really going to test your patience. So just watch out for that. I'm getting this need to be really careful and protective of your partner. And also, I'm getting this as well, be careful and protective of your reputation as well. And I think that's why you need to keep your temper down so that you protect your reputation. And I know you're probably thinking, well, if people do bad things, you have to say something. And I totally agree. I mean, I'm Aries, I agree with that. But in this case, it might have something to do with work, might have something to do with the workplace, it might not, but I'm really getting that feeling of protecting your reputation first, protect yourself first, protect your loved ones first before you say anything. That's the really clear message I'm getting at. And the good thing about this card is, if you are in a relationship, this is a really long-lasting connection. That's what I'm seeing here. Look at this infinity symbol over this woman's head, and there are roses around her waist and everything. So they definitely want to manifest something long-term with you. And what's beautiful about this connection is there's honesty here with this woman. She's in a white dress. That's what that means. And there's passion here as well with this lion. And there's a mutual care. Look at the way the lion's looking up at this woman. He's looking up adoringly at her, and she's looking down adoringly as well. So beautiful. So this looks really good. It looks really, really strong. And, any little childish people like this one who's trying to bother you, they're not going to change any of that. You're super strong together. So if you're worried about this person getting in between you, causing problems or whatever, they're not going to be able to do that. So just know that as well if this is you. So the next card you have for your presence, the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so yeah, this gives me a bit of a better idea of what this might be about with this difficult person. Because I see this perceived alliance, and there's a bit of jealousy here as well. And this is what I'm seeing. They're not thinking clearly. All this bitterness that's in their mind, it's really warping the way they're seeing things. And I think that lack of clarity in their mind, that might be what trips them up eventually. Yeah, I'm actually seeing them making a mistake, falling on their words. That's what I'm seeing, falling on their words, making a mistake, because they're not thinking clearly, they're not seeing things logically, they're acting from their feelings and they're acting from their bitter feelings. That's what I'm seeing, and so they're not seeing things clearly. I hate to see this actually, because I hate seeing anyone being, bitter and preoccupied with someone else and what other people are doing. But this card's all about unfairness, and they've got some warped idea that people are aligning against them, and the scales are tipped in the wrong direction and all that. And I actually think it's their reputation that might lose out in the end here. Especially if you rise above this and you don't get caught up in any of this. I don't think you'll have to do anything actually. And I think that's why I was getting this advice to just tame your temper and just rise above this, because their mistake is what's going to turn this whole thing around. That's what I think is going to happen. I know this is specific, but I just hope this helps someone, because it's horrible being talked about, and I want someone to have clarity around this, because it's really horrible to be in that situation and not know kind of what's going to happen. So I just want to clear someone up about that. So if it's you, just know that it's going to turn around, and you don't have to do anything. And you're best not to do anything either, because you're best to just tame your temper and let them do all the bad work for themselves. That sounds terrible, but you know what I mean. Okay, so the last card you have for your presents, the Four of Wands. Beautiful, beautiful card. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm seeing with this love connection, and I hardly ever see this, so it's very special to see this here, especially near the Strength card. Now, yeah, this can be about marriage, or if you don't want marriage, some people don't want marriage, a lot of people don't want marriage, and that's fine. But it's about a really stable, really beautiful, long-term relationship. So again, if you're in a relationship, especially this really beautiful one that I'm seeing in the Strength card, you have a really strong future together. I'm seeing that very clearly here. Okay, so the first card you have for your futures, the Ace of Wands. Sorry, Ace of Swords. Why did I say that? Because I'm looking at the Four of Wands. Ace of Swords, and there's wands all around here as well, everywhere. Ace of Swords. Yeah, clarity. That's what this card's about. Pure clarity. Cutting through the nonsense, cutting through the lies, cutting through the rubbish, and getting to the core of something, getting to the meat of something. And that's what's happening here. So, and yeah, this is about this person who's making up things, saying all these things, and if you're worried about this person, this bitter person, this is showing you this is all going to come out in the open, and that's what I was seeing. So, look at the swords. Swords can be about words, and I'm seeing this really clearly. So I'm just going to tell you what I'm seeing. There's something they're going to say, words coming out of their mouth, and that's going to cut through all the ambiguity. So if anyone's listening to these things, if anyone's questioning your reputation or anything like that, if they're believing this rubbish, these lies, these stories or whatever, that's all going to stop. When they say these particular words, that's going to be their mistake. It's something that's going to contradict them. And again, the old saying, he fell on his sword. That's what they're going to do. They're going to fall on their sword, and they're going to fall on their words. That's what I'm seeing here. And then everyone's going to see this clarity. Everyone's going to see the clarity of the situation. So I really hope that makes sense. And I know I keep on talking about this, but I keep on seeing this situation. And I really want someone to know, because someone's being really bullied here, I think, or talked about, or gossiped about. And I want them to know there's an ending. And I want them to know that this is all going to turn around for them. So if this is you, it's going to turn around for you. So, yes, the next card you have for your futures, the Two of Wands. Okay, I'm going to talk about these two cards together, this and the Six of Wands. Now, it's sort of reflecting what I was seeing in the King of Pentacles. Yeah, I think it is. Because there's dependence here, and sometimes that's what this can be about, and I've seen that in the King of Pentacles. Because this man's looking forward, he's trying to go forward, but there's this wand behind him, and it's bolted to the wall there, so he feels like it's making him stuck. It's like he's kind of stuck. He can't go where he wants to go, because this wand's behind him. So that's what I'm getting here again, this dependence. Now, again, at one time, I think you were heavily dependent on your family, and which is what I was seeing in the King of Pentacles. Now, if that's the case, if that's correct, you've moved on from that time, physically, emotionally, mentally, everything. You've completely moved on. But I think at that time, one of the most difficult things for you was having to open yourself up and kind of open up your life to some of your family. It was really difficult, family members. So if this is you, I think you're grateful, I think you're respectful to your family, but I think now that you've moved on from that, it might be a little bit hard for someone in your family. Someone in your family might be trying to adjust to you sort of not being under their wing anymore, if that makes sense. And, this might be a parent, because sometimes, no matter how old we are, our parents can still see us as children. Or people that need their advice all the time. I was with my mother, my lovely, beautiful mother recently, and, we were crossing the road, and she reached out to hold my hand while we crossed the road. It was really, really sweet. So that's the kind of thing I'm seeing here. It's a little bit annoying, but really, really sweet. So, so yeah, they might still be trying to kind of adjust to all that, and, I think they might be trying to give you their advice and all that, and you might be getting all this advice, and you might be thinking, I don't really want this advice, but I'm getting loneliness here. Actually, I'm getting some loneliness, and I think that's probably what's behind all this advice that they might be giving you. Um, I'm not seeing anyone deliberately trying to hold you back or anything like that. To you, it might feel like someone's trying to pull you back a bit, but I think they just need someone to talk to, someone to listen to them, someone to be around them sometimes. So if you know who this is, if this is a parent or it might be a relative, another relative, just try and see them a bit more, talk to them a bit more. I think they just need to be heard. That's what I'm getting there. So, and when you progress in your job or your business or whatever this is, I think it's a business. Um, when you narrow it down to this one main thing, and that all starts to take off for you, or take off, I should say, for you. And I'm seeing that happening in the Six of Wands, because that's the victory card. So you're going to get victory in this business again. That's what that's showing you again. But when you do have that victory, when you do start to take off, you'll have a lot less time than you have now. And I don't want to be morbid or depressing, but because this is such a good reading. But we're not here forever. So see more of this person if this resonates. You probably don't realise that that's how they're feeling if they're a bit lonely, because you're a kind person, and I don't think you'd mean to neglect anyone.